Welcome to Study Dash Forum. Today we're going to be looking at um, question on the board, and this question is an extract from WAEC exam 2020. Um, Here we have one. The one has to do with saturated solution. The second one has to do with neutralization reaction. I want you to just pay attention, watch this thing to the end of it. By the time you watch it, you find out how easy some of this calculation can be when it comes to the exam. So sometimes what happens when you face something like this in the exam is that we tend to allow tension to take over us. When the tension is too much, you find it very difficult to solve the problem. Now let's quickly look at the first question. It says that when 250 cm cube of saturated solution of copper sulfate at 30 degrees Celsius was evaporated to dryness, 5 grams of the salt was obtained. What is the solubility of this salt at 30 degrees C? Now we have a molar mass of copper sulfate there. So what we do here now, we find out that in this question, since when it's heated to dryness, it means that this gram saturated 250 cm cube of the solution. This gram saturated 250 cm cube of that solution. Now it means that in that case, to solve this problem, what it means that we need to find out what it will be in 1 mole or 1000 cm cube, because, or as a case may be 1 liter. So in that case now, we need to find out what it means. It means that, okay, if 250 cm cube of the solution has is equal to 5 grams of copper sulfate. So what will 1000 cm cube contain? 1000 cm cube will then be 5 over 250 times 1000 over 1. This can go, we have 4 times 5, we have 20 grams. That means to 1 dm cube or 1000 cm cube of that solution will be saturated by 20 grams of copper sulfate. So in that case, now we have this. Now we're looking for the solubility of this salt at 30 degrees Celsius. So what it means now, if it's so, we know that 160 gram of copper sulfate is equal to 1 mole of copper sulfate. Now 20 grams of copper sulfate will then be what? That will be 1 over 160 times 20 over 1. That will be what? 0.152 mole. That is 152 mole per dm cube. Mole per dm cube or mole per liter. So what it means now is that, now I want to make a little explanation here. You find out that in this case, when we have it is 150, it's necessary that we know what 1 dm cube of it will contain, or what other cl or 1 liter. Now because we always assess it, or maybe consider it based on 1 dm cube, because the question, whenever we talk about solubility, we look at it based on that, in mole per dm cube or per liter or 1000 cm cube. So what we have here simply means that in every 1000 cm cube, 20 grams of this copper sulfate would saturate at this particular temperature. So we know that also, if we so, this 160 of gram of this is equal to 1 mole. So this one in mole per dm cube, it means that 20 gram of this copper sulfate will be equal to 0.125 mole per dm cube. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to look at the next one we have. The next question here says that if 20 cm cube of sodium hydroxide was neutralized by 20 cm cube of 0.01 mole per dm cube of tetrasulfuric acid or sulfuric acid, what is the concentration of the solution? Now, what's the concentration of this if it neutralizes it? Now, what we're looking at is before we do this work, if you find out that this is a kind of neutralization reaction or titration. So, in that case, we need to find out. The first thing we do is just to um, look at the equation for the reaction to get the full details, to get the information needed. That will give us so this is what we have here. And then from here, another thing very important, you can look into our formula. Where this one is concentration of the A is the acid, concentration of the acid, that is in mole per dm cube. VA is the volume of the acid in cm cube. Now, volume of the base is 20 cm cube. Now, concentration of the base is what we are looking for. We can say unknown. This is unknown. So, based on that, the ratio from this chemical equation, find out the ratio is 1:2. 1:2. So, A in this case is what? 1, and B is equal to 2. So when we substitute all this, the next thing I'm going to do is to substitute them. We'll have something that will look like this. This one is then 0.011 times 20 all over CB times 20 equal to 1/2. 1/2. So when we multiply through, we'll have a 20 CB equals to 0.01 times 20 times 2 times 2. Then CB will be equal to 0.0 times 20 times 2 all over 20. So if we divide everything we have, then we'll have 0.02 mole per dm cube. That's the concentration of the solution. That is the solution of sodium hydroxide. So thank you so much for being part of this class. And then if you really enjoy the tutorial, it's important that you subscribe to make it more interesting. Thank you so much. Our love is unconditional.